Hello everyone. So before I begin on this video, I wanted to do a quick quality of life update for two different things. So first of all, on our display box 2, click on this. I've still got this selected over to the events, but if you're not on there, you'll want to select the events on here. And we're going to do the key down event again. We're going to put in where if we hit enter, then it will automatically click the submit button. And so in order for that to function without causing errors, first we're going to need to make sure if button submit.visible is actually true. Then we'll do this. Otherwise, if you happen to go in there and this isn't even visible, it will ignore it. So we'll just put this in, it'll come up here, and then include RTB display2.text is not equal to nothing. So if both of those are true, then hitting enter on it will have us submit it. So we can say here at this point then that if e.key value, actually I remember from last time, it's key code. If that is equal to keys.enter, then we go to button submit and we do perform click. So now when we're typing in, we can just hit enter and that will bring up the submit immediately. We don't have to actually manually go over and click on it. And then one other thing I wanted to do, let's get back over to Form 1 design. And let's grab a control over here and let's grab a combo box and we'll put it over here on this side. And because we're going to do this, we'll throw a label on here. Now, I don't know if I'll keep this forever, but it's not going to hurt to have it now. Let's go back to our normal label, our normal attributes here. This label is going to be the LBL mode control. And this will be select the type. How do we want to? I think maybe select the mode here is going to be sufficient. And we'll rename the combo box to C box. And this is going to be select mode. That's what we're going to do with that. So now double click on this so that we can see if the index changes, then what we will do is we'll update the actual state. So in this case, we are going to change the state value based on the combo selected. And for us to get this, then we of course have to add those data values in. Again, I don't know if I will keep this exact setting. I probably will, just because even if we want other functionality, it doesn't hurt to give a user the ability to change the mode that they're in at some point. So we'll want to do this while we are loading data before we get into any of our loops here. We can probably do it within this part here because the modes of the states are selected in this part. And we actually don't want to have this any longer. So actually we'll copy this because we do want this to be moved. And I'm going to put that, if we scroll down to where we're in Form 1. And at this point, before we enter it, so this is going to be a temporary selection. So we'll select the target there. But let's also fill out the combo box. Okay, so combo box values. So this is going to be our cbox selected mode dot items dot add, and we're first going to add in. So we're going to add in default for that. Then we just copy this so that we can place this in. We're going to need, I think, 4 of them. We'll delete one if we need to. Now that we've got this, the second mode is audio only. So that will be that. Then we want translate into your language. And we'll have translate from your language. And finally, at the very end, we can have spell the word. So we'll put it in this way. Now, these are just going to be the items. And let's copy this because we'll need to use that as a key down here. And so I'm going to put in that So now we have comments down here. I don't like how it moved those over, but I think also that should be like that. Okay, there we go. So we're going to first, of course, set if cbox select mode dot selected index is not equal to -1. That's going to be our first check. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do, we could do another case, but I'm actually just going to do a series of ifs. So if cbox selected mode dot selected item equals, and we'll say default, because that's what we've got in there. Then we're going to say states states equals mode dot normal. We don't want the response, just normal. And then we can actually say return at this point because we don't need to do anything further. If cbox selected mode dot selected item, oh, I need to add the toString, I can see up there, and it's equal to this would be audio only. And let's go ahead and correct our errors up here while we're at it. So this is toString parentheses, and we need another equal sign here. And I hit shift, there we go. Then at this point, states is going to equal modes dot target audio only. And then return. And if cbox select mode dot selected item dot toString is equal to translate. And actually, to avoid typos, because you've seen how well I can type while I'm recording audio, let's just copy this and paste it here. Then what we'll do is states equals modes dot display target type lexicon. Return. And then if cbox select mode dot selected item toString is equal to translate from your language. Control C. Here, paste that. Like so. States is going to be modes dot display lexicon type target. Return. And then finally, if cbox selected mode selected item dot toString is equal to, come up here and say spell the word, paste that in, then of course states equals modes dot target audio type target is the one we want, and then we return. And if none of that happens, then we don't need to actually spell a return in here, but that's what's going to happen. Now, we don't need this anymore, so I will delete that out and line this up because I like that. And you might be wondering, why did I grab by what we are putting in text-wise instead of just going for the value of the method? And the reason why I did that is because I want to actually come back up to here. It's fun trying to find where things are now in this. I want to come back up to here and say, spell the word logically is probably better here. So I'll put it that way. Now the order of them, the index order is going to be different from what we would have had, but because we're grabbing it based off of the word, then we should be okay. And with this, the only other thing that would be useful on here is if we updated the combo box immediately to say what value it should be. And we can do that from within this normal flow. So where we've been adding in for the label, and let's get up to here, where we've been putting in this iteration, for example, we can actually now customize this. This can be cbox selected mode dot selected item is going to be set to the default on there. And we'll have to check and see and make sure that this actually works the way we want. We no longer need this. So what this is going to be instead is target word. So we'll just say target word is what's going to be displayed there. Now display one text down here, we really don't need to actually even show it because it's already set here. We should never come into the normal response. So we can actually just remove that. And label 2 down here is going to be the translated word. And one of the things that we'll also do in the future is we'll actually put in the specific language. So let's see if we can switch this to normal and see if this works. So we'll check now to see if all the logic is working as I think it should be. So we'll come in, select
examine.
user. Now it's defaulting to the one we wanted, but if I come over and change it to default, then the other thing that reminds me, instead of actually returning on here, we need it to go back. Yes, we need it to go back and actually go to the loop again. So, okay. I forgot about this. We can actually take all these returns out because what we're wanting to do is at the end of this, we're just going to do the flashcard, and we don't want the loop, we want the program. We'll start the flashcard program again. This way, if you're changing in the middle of a presentation, it's going to refresh the word. If we go back to the loop, this would allow you to basically cheat. So if you're not sure what a word is, you can switch the mode, look at it from the normal mode, see what the result is, and then switch it back. We don't want to let somebody do that. I mean, you could, in theory, want to do that, so feel free to do it if you want to, but I'm thinking along the lines of we don't want to enable cheating if our purpose is to actually learn the language. So once we've got that in place, let's go ahead, come here,
Hola.
select, and now if I say I want
examine.
the default, you can see it shows up like this. We got the test. Now I can go to
examine.
Audio only, show, that's working. Spell
examine.
Examine, and again, this is working exactly like it's supposed to. Now let's check the enter.
Examine.
And the enter works. So I don't even have to click. Then we can come over here to translate.
Examine.
And we can say examine should be test, enter. That's correct. And now we can come up. And you can see we don't have much space here. So we'll figure out a different word on here. But this would be
Hola.
hola. So we've got a way here now where we can select the mode. And I also want to bump that over so it lines up because just for aesthetics. So we can come over here. It looks like the white space does line up on here. So there's just visually it was looking different, but in any case, I'm going to just make this a little bit longer here for now. We can change the wording if we want to, but this will display more. And let's save that, come back over to here. The other thing that I want to do is actually come back up. Let's get to the section where we specify the state. So here's what we're looking for. Okay, so now we'll come back up to here as well. And where states is in the mode that we're on, what we want to do actually, let's not create a mode to begin with. We're not going to start off with the state on here. Instead, what we'll do now is we can actually come through this. So it comes into user entered. And user entered will be up here. And you can see that user entered ends with this flashcard program. Well, what happens if we do this? So we comment that line out, save this and run. Now, we're never calling the flashcard program through this. So when this comes up, it just looks like this. But as soon as we do this,
examine,
we start getting the results because this is calling that. So we can actually not have it display to begin with. And then when we make a selection change over here, then it calls the card.
Hola.
And we can do whichever one we want. And now you can see we've got enough space so that we can see this. Let's go to
examine.
Let's go back to the default.
Hola.
And you can see we've got target word. Now if I show, it comes up and says translated word. And we will ultimately update this to say the language that we're in. And we're going to need to grab the language anyway, because grabbing the language is how we know whether the box needs to be churned right to left. So let's go ahead and close out of this, save this. And with these quality of life changes now in place, let's begin to do what this particular video is designed for. So first of all, one thing I do want to do is grab this hide all and actually copy it. Because one thing I noticed is when we first go in, it was showing all of the boxes before we made a selection. So I want to actually come into Form 1, and immediately after we initialize component, we're going to hide everything. So this way, if you don't actually select anything, you're not going to see the boxes. They won't show up there until you select. So that's just a quick cleanup. Now we come back to here because, as you can see, this is where we grab our chosen target ID. And we're taking only the first one. We will update this later. We're going to know the chosen target language is going to be the 0th index here. So we're taking the word, but we need the 0 index. We have a way already, if we pull up language, we have a way to create a dictionary. If we feed in the name, we can get the ID. Well, this is a case where we'll have the ID, we need to get the name. That's just the reverse of this. So I'm going to copy this function, paste it in again, and let's create, instead of this, we'll say of ID here. And what we'll do here is we'll change this around. So we're going to feed in the long and get the string out. So this part will be almost exactly the same. All we have to do is change the order here. So we take this part here, copy that, come back here, put that in, put the comma here. So we reverse this, and we'll return dictionary of languages, which is going to be a new. So we create this new, but we need to update this as well. This is going to be a long, and this is going to be a string. This will need to be a long, and this will be a string. So with this method, we'll be able to call create dictionary ID, not create dictionary. And we can then feed in, we'll be able to use the list of the IDs to get the name of the language, and then use the name to come back to this. So coming back to Form 1 now, here at this point, after we load all the languages, then we need to create a new list of our language values. So let's do a all language ID dictionary is going to be the language.create dictionary ID of all languages. So we will feed in all languages and create this. Now, of course, here we are going to need to create this variable. So we'll copy that. Come back up here to the top, and we will put it right here. It's going to be it's going to be a dictionary, and again, this will be of long and then string. Paste that in. There's a new dictionary of long string. Save like that. Now we'll have that in this variable here, so we can copy this. So we'll need to create a Boolean, and we can do the Boolean by this calling it chosen target, and we'll say R2L value is what this is going to be. That's going to be equal to the temp dec random index that we pull the associated word or phrases of 0. That's going to be the base. But to get this, this is going to be the all language ID dictionary value returned when we put that in, and we don't need the parentheses here. And then this value is going to be put into, we need language dot, and this is the get right to left. We put parentheses on here, kind of like that, semicolon. So it's a bit convoluted, but this is how we will get it. Chosen target R2L will come back up to here, and this is going to be a Boolean for this. And we'll set it to false to start with, save that, and come back down to here. So now that will be set by this function here. So when you get something complex like this, do what I just did, where you build it from the inside out until we get what we're actually looking for. Now, chosen target right to left value is all that we'll need to display on wherever we have the chosen target word being displayed. So for here, we're going to have to do RTB display one dot right to left value in, I should type a little more. So right to left is going to equal this chosen target R2L. And we can go like this. And, oh yes, this is, okay, I forgot, I forgot this part. So this will return the Boolean, right? But actually, as I'm thinking about it, we actually want this to be, instead of Boolean, this is actually going to be a right to left, chosen URL is new right to left value. That's what we're actually going to be making from this. So when we come back here, this is going to actually need to say if language all this, then chosen target right to left equals right to left, yes, like so, else chosen target right to left equals right to left dot no. So if it comes back saying true, it will be considered right to left. And if it's false, it'll be no. So that's how we'll actually do it this way. And let me see here. We need, I think I took off too many parentheses, so we put that in. Now it looks like it's got it. Now we can come down here, and when we see any of these text boxes that are referencing the chosen target, then what we do is RTB display one dot right to left is equal to the target chosen target R2L value. So we copy this, for example, and it's usually going to be display one, but occasionally be display two. But I'm just going to copy that line, and we'll come down here, and we'll be looking for anything of this. So right here, RTB1 display. So we'll put that in, and we'll click on this again to highlight it. It's going to be here. That's still RTB1 display. Click on this. Play audio file. We don't need to worry about when the audio file is playing. So we'll come down here, chosen word this, and this is RTB2 text. It is still, okay, so RTB2 text on this one, when this comes in, this is the answer, so it should be up in here. Chosen lexicon word or phrase, so we don't need to worry about that. This is the chosen target word, so we don't need to worry about it there. This is displaying it in RTB1, so once again paste that in, and click on this chosen target word or phrase. It looks like those are all the areas where it's displaying, but I know that we're going to have one place where RTB display 2, we're typing the chosen target, and let's see, that's going to be under display lexicon target response. So at this point here, RTB2, this is the display lexicon type target. So it's here, display 2. At this point here, display 2 is also going to need to be changed so that we're typing it correctly if it is a right to left. So I think this gets all of those. We can save here really quick. And let's test to make sure that this is functioning. So at first it should function like normal, and then we'll do some experimentation. So we'll come in here, select user. Now when this comes up, there's nothing listed. So until I actually say, hey, I want to see the
examine.
Now examine shows, test shows like normal. If we come spell the word, this looks like it's doing everything it needs to do.
Examine.
So that's correct. And I'm so used to closing out, but let's go ahead and go add in a new language. And we'll do Arabic, check that it is right to left. We'll create this language, close out. Now we'll come into Manage Lexicon. We'll select the English side still. I'm not sure why it didn't load there. So let me close and make sure. Did it save the language correctly? Arabic's not showing in here. So we might not have saved the language. Yeah, the language did not save correctly. So this is a good bug to find now. Did I actually click on Save All Languages? Maybe I misclicked. Let's close out of that. Let's go here. Do Arabic. We create language. Save and close. Okay, so I must have closed out without saving it. Anyway, now we've got Arabic, so we can come in here. We actually want this to be English, though. Okay, so the problem that we're running in here is that this part here is running before we do any of the other stuff. So let's go ahead and just hit return on this. We don't want to instantiate anything until we're done creating this. This is a definite bug. When we're not doing the temporary stuff, we'll get around that. So we'll come to Manage Lexicon. We actually want this to be English. And then we'll come over here to Arabic. And let's click on Hello. And I will pull up on my other screen here. Oh, actually, let me just pull this over here. So I've got Hello in here. And so it looks like this is going to be the text. And when we play that, it'll say that. So we can grab this. Does it let me copy that? There we go. So we'll copy this, move that off. We'll put that in here and we will add it. Did I select on the language? Let me delete this. So we want to add Arabic. Check that it's left to right. Create the language. It's over there. We save and close. We come over to here. Manage the lexicon. Come over. Make sure we're on English. We come to Arabic. We click on Hello there. Make sure that's working. Then we can come over here. Okay, so now the right to left is working as intended. And we pull in Google Translate, put hello here. And you can see that this is coming up. We'll hit this and copy. Bring that over and we will paste that in. We will add. And we will open audio. And we'll come back over to here. Do our quick little... And that comes in here. We'll start recording. We will hit
أهلا.
Do that twice. Come back over here. Stop recording. Hit this. Control C. Do a file. New. Paste. Get rid of. I don't want all of that. Take rid of that. Get rid of that.
أهلا.
That sounds like it's going to work as good as we can expect. We will export as wave. And this, I'm going to use this spelling up there without the apostrophe because we can't really put that in a file name. But so I'll call this ahlan.wave. And honestly, I know zero Arabic. So this is just me grabbing what's on here, trusting that it's right. We don't need this anymore, so I'll get rid of that. So from here, do ahlan, drag that in. Ahlan's there. We open that and we know
أهلا.
test, save that. Then we link hello with ahlan, link that, come back over. Hello is now showing up like this. My theory though, that we're only going to see the Spanish version on here. So one thing I'm going to do really quick is come back over here. We will unlink that. English word hi. So we'll come over to English. Click on hi, unlink that, and howdy, and we will unlink that. So now hello is only associated with the Arabic word, and we'll update this to correct for that error shortly. So we need to exit out of here and exit out of here, then come back into here and take this out, save this, and then run. And then when we come into default,
examine,
we show this. We'll go to the next.
أهلا,
Here, Ahlan is showing right to left. So this is what we were looking for. It's there. And if we come to spell the word,
أهلا,
unfortunately now I do not have the Arabic in here, but this is not showing right to left. We can see that it's going left to right still. So let's correct where that is. This is under the spelling of it. So that's going to be the last one that's on here. We also, yes, this part here. Well, oh, so I updated display 1. This one, I think display 1 will show the correct word as well. But what we really need to do is come over to here as well and do this with display 2 as well. So save that. Now, like I said, I don't have the way to type Arabic characters currently, so I won't be able to actually type it in. But let's spell
examine,
the word. We'll just submit
examine,
that because
أهلا,
this is what we want. And now, if we could type it, we could put it in here. So yes, and I'll show how we can do this in the future. But you can see this will update the right to left as intended. So we've got that working now for all of these. And again, there's just a matter of testing every single one of these drop downs to make sure we've got the right one going. And then we can see what we're doing with it. Now, one thing I did notice is, you know, if I wanted to enter without a username, when it comes up, then, you know, it's not going to show anything either. We probably want to hide this right now because we have the test stuff. We have the test things in place. This will actually still work if we do that. But when we correct everything, that will cause problems because we won't have an actual deck to run through. So we'll probably want to hide that control. And in fact, let's just do that from here. So we'll do cbox select mode dot visible is false. And I believe it was the label mode control visible is also going to be set to false. So if somebody comes in and they don't put a username in, they're not going to be able to even see that control. So with all of that, I hope you do have a wonderful day, and we'll look forward to updating some more bells and whistles on our next video.